Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. A bill going through the state legislature would bring police chases to a halt unless the person being chased is suspected of committing a crime, a serious one at that. But police say that could have serious effects on public safety. It comes after a flurry of legal trouble in Priceville. You may recall in September, police officer Gary Chapman chased Archie Hale, suspected of a DUI, into Hartselle. He crashed at over 100 miles an hour into a car full of teenagers, killing Tristan Hollis and injuring several others. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us how that's propelling the proposed legislation.
In the wake of the deadly police chase that killed 17-year-old Tristan Hollis at this intersection last year, lawmakers are now working on changes to pursuit policies across the state. A new bill in the state legislature could strictly limit when and where law enforcement can pursue suspects. The bill was introduced on January 13th by State Senator Arthur Orr. The bill, titled the Tristan Hollis Memorial Act, would prevent officers from chasing people unless they have probable cause that someone has committed a violent crime from a narrow set of Class A felonies. Those crimes are the ones you see on your screen, including murder, burglary, kidnapping, sexual crimes, domestic violence, arson, robbery, and terrorism. In addition, the bill would allow officers to pursue anyone suspected of an offense that creates an immediate threat to the safety of another person. But according to local police departments, the bill would have a big effect on their ability to do their job. Hartselle Police Chief Alan McDearman tells Fox 54 he would like to see it amended to give officers a little more leeway.
If an officer gets behind a vehicle and they try to stop the vehicle and the vehicle doesn't stop within a quarter of a mile or a half a mile, or where do we reach an actual pursuit? At a mile, mile and a half, 2, So I think it's very restrictive the way it's worded, and I would like to see it changed a little bit.
The bill is now in the hands of the Senate Judiciary Committee for any revisions. If the state legislature passes it, it'll go into effect on October 1st. In Hartselle, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
The goal of the legislation is to keep officers from crossing into other jurisdictions, as well as to prevent unnecessary pursuits. You can read more about the bill on fox54.com. Keep our eye on the sky. Cold day here in Huntsville and, of course, all throughout the Tennessee Valley. But what we see here, clear sky. And I hear we may have some other activity happening later on this week. But before we get to that, I'm joined now by Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, we've been seeing some cold temps today, this past weekend. What's in store for us for the rest of tonight?
Yeah, we're going to continue to talk about the opportunity for some colder air, and it's not even necessarily an opportunity. That was kind of bad phrasing on my part. It is definitely a thing that is going to happen, right? Many of us are currently sitting in the mid and upper 30s. That's chilly. 36 right now in Huntsville, 37 both Pulaski and Fayetteville, and in Florence over at Northwest Alabama. Fort Payne also talking about 37 degrees, 39 degrees in Scottsboro, 39 right now in Coleman. Now, as we head into the overnight, it is going to be really, really cold. Temperatures dropping into the upper teens and lower 20s, very similar to what we've seen over the last couple of nights. This isn't anything new at this point. It's been really cold over the last couple of nights, and it's going to be the same tonight. The only difference between tonight, tomorrow morning, and the last couple of nights is everybody's got to get out early tomorrow morning. 19 degrees at 7, 22 at 8, 27 by 9, 31 degrees by the time we get to 10 a.m., though with plenty of sunshine. So at least it is going to be beautiful. Now, everything changes a little bit as we head into your Wednesday, and then even more so as we head into the weekend. The weekend, Saturday and Sunday, are going to be Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert days. We'll talk about those in just a minute.
A woman who was found in a ditch along Apple Grove Road in Morgan County early Saturday has died, we've learned, and an investigation is now underway. Deputies found the victim in the 2000 block of Apple Grove Road, they say. She's now been identified as 38-year-old Ashley Critchley. According to the Morgan County Sheriff's Office, Critchley may have been hit by a car. Authorities say what caused her death is still under investigation. Former Lauderdale County Judge Gil Self is set to appear in court tomorrow as he seeks to have his 12-year prison sentence overturned. Self was convicted of using public funds for personal expenses last year, but his lawyers argue the 12-year sentence is, quote, unconstitutionally harsh. A motion for a new trial was filed last week, along with a motion to throw out the sentence. Self will appear in court tomorrow at 1:30. The Decatur City Council will meet tomorrow to discuss major items focused on downtown developments and long-term improvements. Funding to keep construction moving at the Point Mallard Event Center is on the agenda. Council members will also review a downtown streetscape study targeting sidewalks, lighting, landscaping, traffic flow, and ADA access along 6 corridors. They'll also consider land for a future parking deck to support the Cook Museum expansion and North Alabama's STEM Center plans. Florence City Council will debate the addition of a historical marker in front of the Lauderdale County Courthouse to provide context about the Confederate monument you see here. The marker would be placed near Court and College Streets and would explain that the statue, like many Confederate monuments, was erected decades after the Civil War during the rise of Jim Crow. City officials say the goal is to give residents and visitors a clear historical context about the monument and the era from when it was placed. If you're behind on your student loans, there's some temporary relief coming your way. The U.S. Department of Education says it's pausing plans to garnish wages and seize tax refunds from borrowers in default, just weeks after announcing collections would restart. The agency announced Friday it's pausing collections to roll out major repayment reforms under a tax and spending law signed by President Trump, saying the delay will give borrowers more repayment options. The pause also applies to tax refund seizures. Officials have not said how long it will last. The Artemis II mission could light the candle as soon as next month, and the U.S. Space and Rocket Center is getting ready to make sure you can watch it live. The center will be hosting a watch party for the launch when a date is announced for the mission. But for the museum, there is an important space camp connection with the crew.
It's very meaningful to us because not only do we want to support the work of NASA, but we also have a very close personal connection to that mission. Christina Cook, who is one of the 4 Artemis II astronauts, came to space camp 5 times when she was a kid. So this is something that's very personal to us. We are really cheering on this crew and the work that was done here at Marshall Space Flight Center to make it happen.
Wouldn't expect anything less from the Rocket City. Well, Ammons adds details will be announced once NASA releases the launch date for Artemis II. And if you missed the Artemis II crew and NASA administrators media event this weekend, no worries. We've got it on demand right here on Fox 54 Plus. Download on your TV, watch for free.
In this new technology, smoke alarms now have a 10-year life battery.
And on this day of service, MLK Day of Service, volunteers are making sure families are equipped with safety. We hear from the Red Cross. And people have opened up their hands and hearts to give back and feed bellies today. Fox 54's Logan Alexandra Russell takes us to Meridianville. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would have turned 97 years old last Thursday. Born in 1929, King's involvement with the civil rights movement dates back to the 1950s. He led the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955 after Rosa Parks famously refused to give up her seat to a white passenger in Montgomery. King quickly became the de facto face of the growing movement. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, the same year the Civil Rights Act was passed. King also spoke out against the Vietnam War in 1967. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, the following year. Dr. King Day of Service brought fellowship, music, and a feast to Meridianville this afternoon. While the holiday is often a day off for many, local organizations turned it into a day on to ensure no neighbor went hungry. Fox 54's Logan Alexandra Russell was at Inspiration Point, where the community came together for more than just groceries.
The mission here today is simple, serving with love and unity. The Patricia Haley Charity is doing a food distribution today. It started around 2 o'clock, and volunteers from different organizations in the community like Jack and Jill of America and Black Greek organizations have been out here loading boxes and bags full of food and household items into the trunk of cars. The smell of fried fish and the sound of an acoustic guitar filled the parking lot here in Meridianville today. What started as a typical food distribution quickly turned into a drive-through block party for the community, all coordinated by the Patricia Haley Charity. Volunteers spent the afternoon distributing boxes and bags filled with food and essential household items, but the service went beyond the groceries. Neighbors waiting in line were treated to live music, and no one left on an empty stomach as fried fish and French fries were served.
It was so important today, especially because of Dr. Martin Luther King. He had a dream, and this dream had a vision. And so we had so many people that coming out that's in need, but also our community and the volunteers and the sponsors they came together for this day.
The live music and hot meals were a surprise for many, but it made the experience as welcoming as possible. In Meridianville, Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
What an act of kindness on a day of service. Yes. And I heard they also fed you.
Yes, they did. So they had fried catfish that was out there, frying it fresh, and then had some French fries. So I definitely ate that earlier today.
That is so sweet. And it's a unique way of giving back, not only feeding bellies, but they have a little live music. I saw someone playing the guitar.
Yes, so they did have somebody playing the guitar out there, and just all was to make sure that everybody felt welcomed. You know, people, you never know what people are going through. So hopefully this put a little bit more joy in their day today.
Yes, I could tell. It was very lively. And we know on this day, people do all types of service, whether it's giving back through food, helping your fellow neighbor. That's in essence what this day is about.
Yes, MLK Day of Service. So I know that we covered a lot of stories where people were doing community service today. It seems like service was being done throughout the Tennessee Valley.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Logan Alexandra. All right, let's see. You can honor Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders by attending a special program on the Freedom Riders at the downtown Huntsville Public Library. Tomorrow from 10:30 a.m. to noon, learn how civil rights activists, both black and white, rode interstate buses into the segregated South in 1961 to challenge unconstitutional bus segregation. Freedom Riders face arrests and brutal violence, drawing national attention and prompting federal action. Coming up, one shelter in Decatur has its doors open as a warming center. We have the details on who and how long it'll stay open. Speaking of which, Jordan, just how cold will it get tonight?
Yeah, temperature's going to drop into the upper teens and lower 20s across the Tennessee Valley, very similar to what we've seen over the last couple of nights. We don't necessarily see temperatures climb at all as we head into your Tuesday. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day is often defined by service to the community, and here in North Alabama, the Red Cross is looking to save lives through fire safety. Members of the American Red Cross and Alabama A&M's Alpha Phi Omega alumni chapter went to homes and Harvest, installing free smoke alarms and helped families create escape plans in the event of a fire. Susan Sparks with the Red Cross says the smoke detectors they pass out are easy to use, but it's still important to check your alarms regularly.
In this new technology, smoke alarms now have a 10-year life battery. That means no more checking or changing your battery. We do encourage people to check their smoke alarms, testing them once a month.
Experts say you have less than 2 minutes to escape a burning building safely. Since 2014, the Sound the Alarm campaign has saved more than 130 lives across Alabama. If you need an alarm, you can request one through the American Red Cross. Hands Across Decatur is opening its doors today and tomorrow to provide warm meals and shelter for those facing the cold. The center will open at 6 p.m. or has been open, an evening shelter with doors closing at 8 p.m. Volunteers are being asked to text 256-654-6371 to coordinate shifts, and donations are welcome. Officials say the center is open to anyone in need.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the FOX54 Weather Impact Team.
Yes, it's been a frigid few days. Beautiful looking though. It's been beautiful, but the cold in need, definitely in need of a good coat.
Yes.
Some nice boots.
January is January-ing across the Tennessee Valley.
That's a good adjective to describe the month of January.
We're just over here inventing new adjectives, and it is about to January, potentially even more as we head into the weekend.
I've heard.
Yes, you've gotten a tease. Are you excited, not indifferent?
I'm just in anticipation. I'm expecting it.
Yeah, you and me both at this point. It's proving to be a cold evening across North Alabama. Let's talk about that first and foremost. 36 right now in Huntsville, 39 in Scottsboro, 37 in Fort Payne, 36 and 37 Pulaski and Fayetteville. Florence, good evening. You find yourself sitting at 37 degrees. These numbers are going to continue to drop off as we head into the overnight. It's going to be very cold, very similar to what we've seen over the last couple of nights where temperatures have no problems dropping into the upper teens and lower 20s. Kids get back on the school bus. Tomorrow morning, you head out the door for work. Bundle up, bundle the kids up. You're going to want all of the winter gear. 19 at 7, 22 at 8, 27 by 9, 31 degrees by the time we get to 10 a.m. with plenty of sunshine. So it's going to be cold, but at least it's going to look pretty outside. And we'll continue that vibe as we head into the afternoon, below average, about 10 degrees below where we should be this time of year. I've got a high at around 42 degrees. Now, we do get a little bit warmer as we head into your Wednesday. We actually get pretty close to seasonal. Highs climbing into the upper 40s and lower 50s. But unfortunately, Wednesday is going to bring more cloud cover, and it's going to bring the opportunity for a little bit of rain, some of which could begin to build in as we head into the early part of Wednesday afternoon. It's going to take its time, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. Many of us are dry. A couple of showers are hanging out across northwest Alabama. This activity really begins to fill in west of the I-65 corridor as we head into Wednesday evening. It's going to stick with us as we head into the early part of the overnight and then through the earliest hours of Thursday morning. By the time we get to the Thursday morning commute, Futurecast still holding on to a little bit of light rain across the Tennessee Valley, and then we'll keep it around in some capacity as we head into Thursday afternoon. I want to skip ahead and talk about Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday are going to be FOX54 Weather Impact Alert days, all of them, all day Saturday and then all day Sunday. We're talking about 3 different possible things across the Tennessee Valley: ice, snow, or a little bit of rain. So at this stage of the game, what do you need to do? You just simply need to pay attention. This is very much an evolving forecast. One of 3 things are going to be possible. We could see some significant ice across the Tennessee Valley. That would have a massive impact both Saturday and Sunday. Or we could see more snow and little or no ice. That's still going to have a big impact, but it's easier to recover from snow. So the impact there is going to be much smaller. Or neither of these things happen and we just end up getting a really cold rain Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. One of the big factors that's going to determine what we end up getting across the Tennessee Valley is this area of low pressure that's going to be hanging out over Texas by the time we get to the lunch hour on Friday. The exact track of this area of low pressure is going to play a really big part in determining what we end up getting. Let's say hypothetically the low tracks a little bit further to the south, let's say along the Florida Panhandle or the Gulf Coast. We're going to get more snow and less ice. Let's say it tracks a little further to the north, say across central and south Alabama, we get more ice and rain and then less snow. Have a good look at the next 7 days, 42, 50, and 52. That gets us Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 43 degrees on Friday. Then we get to our Fox 54 weather impact alert days, both Saturday and Sunday. Both of those days are going to be cold, and that's going to end up being important as well, 30 and 31 respectively. 35 by the time we get to next Monday.
We'll stay with weather. Despite chilly temps, fishing fans bundled up and headed to Lake Guntersville this weekend for the MLF Finals. The event marked the start of Major League Fishing's Bass Pro Tour season with 4 days of competition on the water.
Major League Fishing is the highest level of competitive bass fishing in the world. But how does the scoring work? Instead of a traditional weigh-in, every bass caught over 2 pounds during the allotted time is immediately weighed, released, and added to an angler's total weight. Whoever ends the day with the highest cumulative weight wins.
51 anglers fish the first 2 days, and then the top 25 fish the second day. And here on the final day, we have the top 10 anglers who are trying to compete to take home the win. This is the first stop of the season. We have 7 regular season events on the Bass Pro Tour, and so we're kicking our season off here on Lake Guntersville.
Anglers used a variety of baits and techniques, adjusting their strategies on one of the top bass fishing lakes in the country.
It's very unique at the Bass Pro Tour level, where we have officials in every single boat that are measuring and weighing the fish as they're caught in real time.
The event also included a kids fishing derby, where the first 50 kids in line received a free fishing rod. Members of the Sandrock High School fishing team helped run the event, introducing young anglers to the sport.
We had 100-something kids yesterday, and it'll go from 3 to 5 today. And, they go out there, we give them some worms, and all the kids go out there and, hopefully to catch some fish.
The fishing show drew in people of all ages, all sharing the same passion for the sport.
I want to go to college for it, get a scholarship for it. It's like something that I love to do.
With first place worth $125,000 plus bonuses, anglers were fishing for more than bragging rights, all at the first stop of the 7-event Bass Pro Tour season.
There's a lot of preparation that goes into these months of research and getting ready for this tournament, and so they've put in a lot of time. There is certainly an element of luck, but certainly a lot of hard work that goes into being successful.
The winner of the MLF Finals on Lake Guntersville is Drew Gill, who caught a total of 28 bass for 82 pounds, 4 ounces. His name is actually rather appropriate, but the victory marks his 3rd Bass Pro Tour win and 4th overall MLF title, capping off an exciting start to the season.
The College Football Playoff National Championship kicks off this evening. We get in one last preview next in sports.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
It all comes down to this. Good evening and welcome to sports. After more than 20 weeks of playing and preparing during the 2025-26 college football regular season and postseason, the road ends here as Indiana and Miami go head-to-head for the right to call themselves a national champion. As for IU, we will see if the storybook year has a storybook ending. Just 2 years removed from being considered one of the worst programs in the sport, the Hoosiers have the Heisman Trophy winner and are 1 win away from a perfect season in college football immortality. And for Miami, the U officially back in a national title game for the first time in more than 20 years, one of the sport's greatest programs at the doorstep of a 6th claimed national championship.
There aren't really distractions. You either create them or you don't, right? It's people. And so we get out ahead of that, right? That's one of the stronger, I would say, points of emphasis as you begin the week. You know, distractions and things and people have never been a part of the journey. You can't let them become a part of it now. We preach it, we teach it, and then we go and we get away from everybody, just like we did a couple of weeks ago, the last couple of weeks when we went on the road.
This week is no different than any other week. We have to be on point. We have to stack meetings, practices, and go in totally prepared. But then you got to put it on the field, you know, against a great opponent.
The Hoosiers and Hurricanes kick off from Hard Rock Stadium at 6:30. This is a rubber match of sorts. The IU-Miami all-time series tied at 1-1 with the last meeting coming all the way back in 1966. And that will do it for sports this evening. Enjoy the game. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you, Nick. Coming up on Fox 54 News at 9, tensions rise over Greenland. European leaders threatening a so-called trade bazooka as President Trump warns of new tariffs on NATO allies. We have more on this development. The U.S. Space and Rocket Center nominated again for a top honor by USA Today. Why it's going dark tomorrow for major upgrades and how you can help it win. We have all this and more on Fox 54 News at 9 tonight. Before we let you go, Leonardo da Vinci's DNA might be in his art. Researchers say they've been searching for it in his letters and a drawing. They say they found a matching sequence of a Y chromosome from a male. Now, I can't really tell what, okay, that's a picture, a portrait. I had to zoom out a little bit, but it doesn't mean it belongs to the great artist, the DNA and scientists, but they say it's a place to start. And his DNA is hard to pin down because he never had children and his burial site was destroyed.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.